Hi, everybody. My name is Phil, and today I am interviewing Rob Centers. Rob Centers is a friend of mine and also a client of Tri-City Men's Health. Just want to introduce you, Rob. Tell the world a little bit about you. You're a dedicated single father and a real estate agent here in Prescott, and you you take care of all the Quad City areas, right? Do you or the
Correct.
okay?
Entire Prescott MLS, which is all the way almost down to Black Canyon City and all the way out to Seligman.
Awesome. And you're obviously a very, very passionate person. I've known you a fairly short time, but that's what I've seen by you. You're truly interested in fitness. You work out a lot. You are also interested in firearms, and you are strongly committed to your family. You enjoy staying active, and you are always trying to explore the next best thing in fitness, right?
Yeah,
And you're trying to hone your skills at the shooting range, and you enjoy quality time with your children. I get that. That touches my heart. I have young children too. Your children aren't so young. You're 15, both of
he'll
them.
be 16 in May.
You have twins.
I only have one and done for me. He'll be 16 in May. So he's 15 now. So I'm going to have a new driver on my hands here shortly.
Ooh, stay off the road, right? And you have a love for adventure and personal growth. And I've definitely seen that in the last few months that I've known you. I kind of want to hear your experience with testosterone, how you came to be on T, how it's changed your life. So can you kind of expand on that?
So I had a friend that's been on it for years, and I pretty much watched him recomp his body, and he's just absolutely jacked. And I put it off and put it off, and I've been watching my test levels for probably 3 years, go up, go down. And the big thing for me that I wanted was the mental clarity and that 20-year-old mentality back of like, I can conquer the world. I can make it through this. That drive and determination. And I wasn't having any of that. I was very like lackadaisical and lethargic and like, whatever, I'll work out tomorrow and I just wanted to get rid of that. So I reached out to a bunch of other places in town. Nobody would call me back, but I mean the experience with you guys was great, which I'll go into later. And I've been working out for 15, 17 years, something like that. And you know how it is when you hit that plateau and you just don't feel like you're making gains or moving the needle anywhere. So I just felt like it was kind of time. And after talking to you guys, got me on the program and I haven't looked back.
Awesome. So what are the biggest improvements that you've seen on TRT?
I mean, everything. I mean, my strength has increased, my focus. Like while I'm doing anything, I can actually focus and get into a nice workflow, or if I'm at the gym, get focused there too. That mentality I was talking about, the I can conquer the world mentality has definitely came back. I mean, I walk every morning, do cold plunges every day in the gym, usually every day, 7 days a week. So it's just the motivation to live life, I think, is my big thing that I have noticed with TRT is instead of just kind of letting life pass you by because you're tired, TRT will get you back to feeling where you have the energy to go conquer life again. And that's my big thing with it.
I love hearing that. One thing I do want to mention is you throw a rock in this town, you're going to hit a realtor. And to set yourself apart has to take some gumption. And man, you have some gumption. You don't mess around. You're in it to make it big. And I see that. I see you everywhere. And so do you attribute TRT having that or helping you with that?
It has definitely helped with being able to be motivated to, get done what I need to get done, whether it's morning, noon, or night. And then I still have the energy. Like I said, you're not completely depleted at the end of the day. You still have the energy to get to the gym. I talk a lot with people. I mean, I've sent you guys so many clients just because I like to talk. And they're like, oh, what has changed the last 3 months with you? And I tell them I started on TRT and how great you guys have been. You and Tim have been there for anything I've ever needed. And it's great. And then usually I send them over to you guys. But you never know, that could potentially turn into a client down the road. So yeah, it has definitely helped with the mentality and just having the energy to live my life and get work done.
Yeah, and I will mention, like you're a great customer of ours. You have referred so many people to us, and so thank you very much for doing that. How do you feel your experience has been with Tri City?
And that's what I tell most everybody that I send over to you. From the first phone call, you guys got back to me promptly. You set up an appointment. You explained what you did do and what you didn't do, how the process worked. And then for my first sit down with Tim and meeting with you, I mean, everything is just taken care of. Like you guys line it out and you educate while you're doing it. And any questions, like I said, I don't know how many times I bugged him, like, hey, is this a normal symptom? And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it, but watch this, you know? And that was really reassuring for me to have someone there that I can ask questions like, hey, am I supposed to gain 20 pounds in the first 3 weeks? You know what I mean? Like, is this normal? He's like, yeah, you'll gain some water weight. It's kind of normal. And I can see the size in your shoulders and your chest kind of getting bigger too. So think about that. You're always available. If I can't get a hold of you, you get back to me. Like, it's been a great experience.
Thank you for that. And I'm super happy to hear that. I mean, especially we're a service-based organization in this town. And I think it's everything. The how you treat people is everything. And we want to treat people like family. And we've really tried to develop our offices so that they feel welcoming. When you go into our office, does it seem like any other doctor's office you've been in?
Doesn't. It's really it's a cool atmosphere because you got the kickback kind of chill side with Tim's desk and the couch, and sometimes there's a gun in there, sometimes, and then the other side you got all the stuff, where it keeps all the supplies, and forgot what that thing's called, the blood agitator. You got everything there. And that atmosphere really helps because I was truly nervous when I came in for my first injection with Tim. I don't know why I was nervous. I've had a lot of needles in my body, but it was kind of nerve wracking. And, the atmosphere makes it that much better.
I'm really happy to hear that, man. And then one other question or a couple other questions, but another one that I have for you before the interview, I told you one of the things that I'm struggling with is the embarrassment of being on testosterone as a young guy. What would you tell that young guy that's embarrassed about being on testosterone or letting people know that, hey, this is helping them? To me, it shouldn't be something you're embarrassed about. That's a stigma that I'm trying to fight against. So what would you tell the guy that's embarrassed to talk about testosterone?
I mean, if you want your quality of life to increase, what I think TRT has done for me is just increase my quality of life. And you don't have to explain anything to anybody. Like, if your quality of life is better and you're getting more done, you're being more productive, you're spending more time with your family, you're making more money, you're lifting more weight, so on and so forth, then usually people are going to hate. And hate usually comes from the bottom. And it's just one of those things. I talk to a lot of guys that it's kind of the opposite stigma of where it's TRT is an unobtainable thing. I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was that easy to get, right? So I have to kind of explain the process and what I went through with you guys. But in my opinion, if it's making you better for the loved one in your life and yourself every single day, then why would you be embarrassed about it? I mean, you wouldn't be embarrassed if you drank kombucha every day if it made you feel better, right? Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, don't overdo it. You don't need to take 2 meals a week or anything that's like that. But if it's making your life better, then don't apologize to anybody. That's the way I look at it.
That's a very, I think, healthy perspective. So I appreciate that. Do you feel like it gives you more energy to be a dad?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Just, and it goes back to what I said earlier. It's like after the day's done, instead of just, a body in motion stays in motion is what they say. And it just gives me that energy to just keep moving instead of coming home and plopping down and being like, oh, we'll go golf tomorrow. Or we'll go hike tomorrow. It's just like, okay, I'll get the gear. Let's go. So yeah, it's definitely helped. And he's in the stage now where he's lifting. He's on the football team. So we don't compete necessarily, but there is that camaraderie. Yeah, a little bit. There is that camaraderie of like, well, how much do you deadlift today? Oh yeah, I hit this. And then, I tell him every time I hit a PR, he tells me every time he hits a PR. So we're real tight when it comes to that. And it's really cool to not only just watch him grow, but I can grow with him.
That is very encouraging to hear, and I can relate to that on a very deep level because that's how I am with my son. I have a 9-year-old boy, and the whole reason I started jujitsu is because I was worried about him choking me the heck out when he turned 16. And he's this like 9-year-old killer, and he is amazing. And now he like will wake me up and try and choke me out. And I'm so glad that I have the energy to do that, to hopefully be an example and hopefully somebody to look up to for my son. And I think testosterone has played a huge role in that for me personally. So
Absolutely. I heard something the other day. Actually, quite a while ago, and everything's true to in most situations. Most people say that they would die for their kids, but would you live for them? You know what I mean? Like, if TRT was going to make your life better, make you live for your kids, why wouldn't you do it?
That's good. Am I willing to live for my kid? Yeah, I am. And I have
Yeah.
been. And then so have you. And I think men that are willing to take control of their health and not be afraid to be asked the hard questions, those are the men that are going to benefit from this because those are the men that I can work with. Like I am, when you come see me, I'm going to get into your kitchen. I'm going to ask you the hard questions like, can you get it up? Are you exhausted all the time? How's your libido? Another reason I love the medicine that we're in because we are able to have those deep conversations instantly. And a lot of men are very guarded. They don't want to have that. But if you're willing to come to the table and be transparent and have conversations and I have an honest symptom checklist and I can match it to your low testosterone, I can help you. And so thank you for letting me help you, Rob. I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you guys for being there. And my big thing, kind of the spin off on that, is with the epidemic we're having with men's health in this country with depression, anxiety, suicide rates being high. If you can do one thing to make your mental health better, then why wouldn't you do it? I mean, you'll go. What kind of blows me away is you'll go and you'll take anti-anxiety meds or antidepressants, stuff like that, that is doing a lot more harm than something like TRT would. And there's no stigma around that. People are popping those pills every single day, all day. So it definitely needs to change.
Yeah, and all we're doing is giving you more of what your body is naturally producing that it can't produce, and we're just giving you to optimal levels. We're not stacking you. We're not making you hit roid rage. We're just trying to get you to optimal levels because we as a society are low. We are so low, especially guys that have high cortisol levels in high stress situations, like my fire guys and PD guys and prior soldiers. I mean, I am having so many soldiers come in right now with critically low testosterone, lower than 300, which is insane to me. It's like, how can you be a stud that's 27 years old having a testosterone in the 200s? That to me just blows my freaking mind. They're having testosterone like Joe Biden at 27. The stress that we put them through, the crap that we feed people, just all these things. And I don't think our ancestors had all these things. I think naturally our societal testosterone was much higher.
Yeah, and that's the big thing that I see with the veteran community is I brought it up to my doctor multiple times, and the VA will not even come close to a conversation about TRT. I know there is a few guys that have been successful and got referred to the community or somehow they've gotten it, but here in Prescott, my doctor would not even have the conversation with me. My levels were at 430, and she's like, "Oh, you're good." So that's another thing I'd like to see change too, is this to become more of a common practice. But I mean, are they going to make more money selling, anti-anxiety medications, antidepressants, or TRT therapy? You know what I mean? So I feel like we're fighting an uphill battle with Big Pharma on that one.
Well, I think the big thing is with the VA is the military doesn't want to pay for it. I think that they know that soldiers' testosterone as a whole is very low, very low. I treat tons of men with testosterone less than 300 that should be like 700, 800. And it's, to me, it's sad. It's really sad because these guys give their lives to our country and put themselves in harm's way, and they go through an insane amount of stress, and then they get out and then they can't have this help that's so needed. So it's a shame, and I hope that changes, because I would lose a lot of customers if that happened, if they were able to pay for it, but I would be okay with that because it makes sense and they need to be taken care of. So that's my soapbox on that.
Even being able to refer it out to the community and say, "Hey, we work with Tri-City Men's Health," and then the VA can give you guys referrals. I don't know what that looks like for you guys, but maybe something to look into.
I'd love that. I'd love to take care of veterans or more veterans and more PD guys and more fire guys. Like I'm passionate about them. You go into our office and you'll know where we stand on that. I mean, there's no question where we stand in some of our fire guys and our PD guys and our veterans, like, and first responders. All first responders will give you discounts. All veterans, we give you discounts. And so we're passionate about that. So thank you for trusting me with your health. That means a lot to me. I take that seriously. And thanks for this interview, man.
No,
Appreciate
not a problem at all. I enjoyed it. And, like I said, hopefully we can break some of the stigma and the negative light on TRT.
Yeah. Is there anything that we can be doing better for you?
I I
Trans-
can't imagine anything besides, like I said, the only thing I brought up to Tim was like referral cards that like I can write my name on and give it to the guy, and it gets somehow it benefits them both. But I mean, you guys are great. You always get back to me, pick up the phone if I need refills or any supplies. You're always there. If I have any weird questions, you're always there. I mean, I can't imagine anything that you guys could do better. So keep it up.
Man, you too, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And yeah, I owe you some money. So I'll get that out to you too for all the referrals you've given us. We have a referral program that any guy that comes on service, if he's appropriate, will get $50 if they stay on for 3 months. And I think we have several guys or Rob that he's given us. So I got you, Rob. I'll get
Yeah,
you.
I've got another Navy guy that's retiring from the Navy, and he's in town around January. He's asking me about it, so I'm maybe sending him over to you too.
Feel free to give him my personal number if you want, and so I can make sure that he's not lost anywhere.
Gotcha.